had a conversation with mom. She was like, I was depressed when I moved to Australia. How long were you depressed for?
I can't recall how long I was depressed, but I just remember being sent back to hospital. Yeah, you guys have no idea. You have no idea what we have sacrificed for you children here, man.
We're struggling. I'm pregnant with Emmanuel. And she told me that. I'm like, damn, I see you as my mother, but I never saw you as Rose.
As a human being?
As a human being.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I think I went in for a tackle and I dislocated my shoulder. Got an MRI scan straight away. Doctor kind of was looking at the MRI and she was like, you feel sick at all? Refer you to hematology. I looked at it, I was like, speak English.
What?
Just got tested, turned 19, sat me down, was like, you've been diagnosed with leukemia.
When we talk about social media, LinkedIn is a huge platform.
LinkedIn's huge.
100% correlation to opportunity in 2024 is how you produce content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snap, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, period. I kind of think you know that. So why are you not doing it? The excuse of I can't afford it. Yes, you can. All of you in this room buy dumb shit. Order ever in your life from Seamless or Uber Eats? Dumb shit. Ever take an Uber? Dumb shit. Have clothes with a logo on it? Dumb shit. If
people get mixed up in this religion, Bible, it's a guidebook.
The Bible is not a book about religion. Bible is a book of principles, promises, practices, prophecies that give me the ability to make predictions about outcomes in the future. So I can know what's going to happen before it happens, can position myself in the path of prosperity.
I know you're watching this video, but real quick, please guys, please make sure you take the time to like, share, and subscribe. Go and hit the subscribe button so we can keep giving you guys content, so you guys can be notified as soon as we drop some news and information that's really gonna help you. And then another thing, guys, and by the way, subscribing, it doesn't cost any money, nothing, no dollars, just go in there, hit the subscribe button. Again, Spotify, make sure you download our episodes on Spotify. We are exclusive to Spotify because we are getting that deal. Okay, welcome back to the Rabasha Family Podcast. Now, guys, I have a very special guest and I want to be able to do a great introduction. So I have someone here who's not only a visionary, he sees a vision and imagination, but someone we go back a long time. I've known Sam over 20 years or so. We met as young children from church, and to see our growth, to see our evolution, to see how sharp we're looking is a joy. But now what's powerful is we're turning the camera on. We're bringing this conversation to the world because you know what? I've known you most of my life, but there's certain things I haven't known. I haven't seen the internal battles you've gone through. I haven't seen certain things. So now we're opening that platform out to the world. The Rabasha Family Podcast is growing into one of the biggest media companies. And to have you on is a joy. I can't wait to do this conversation. So guys, welcome Samuel Tabuatrabata.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's a great honor to be here. It's a privilege. I mean, we've known each other for the best part of 20 years, gone to church together, gone to school together. So yeah, it's finally good to sit down and have a chat.
Yeah.
With the cameras on.
Yeah, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn the cameras on, man, and let's talk about it. So Sam, there's a lot of people who don't know you. So let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Give us like your, the history.
Yeah, so I'm a first generation immigrant. So we moved over from Fiji when I was about 9 years old. So that was probably back in 2004 now. Coming over, didn't speak a word of English. Everything I had to learn was literally as soon as you landed, you learn how to speak English. Everything was self-taught in a way, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, how many brothers, sisters?
I've got one brother and two sisters, and I'm the eldest out of four.
Oh, two sisters?
Yeah.
Who?
Nola and Lavi.
Oh, yeah, Lavi. Oh, sorry, Lavi. I'm sorry. It's because I think back, I remember how it was you, Steve, and Nola.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just us three for a very long time, and then I guess my parents just came out of the woodworks and said, "Oh, we're having another baby."
Yeah. Okay, so 9 years old, coming from Fiji. What was that like for you, like as a child?
I think it was a massive culture shock. Like, obviously back home in Fiji, we're used to playing in backyards and there's no fences. So you can go to and from to everyone's backyard and no one has a problem with it. But over here, I think for a few, like 2 to 3 years, we had issues with our neighbors because we'd always kick the ball into their backyard. or we'd be playing rugby and we just smash the next door neighbour's fence. So yeah, like we had very disgruntled neighbours for a while until we sort of learned how to settle down and and keep it calm.
Yeah, so it's that culture. So I love that because yeah, back home, even in Kenya, like you say, Fiji, it's also like how the village raises the children, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, you can go to, the neighbor can come and slap you over the head,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit of a shock, huh?
Yeah, it was a shock, yeah.
Yeah.
But even when we did move over, we'd always have aunties and uncles over. So it wasn't, in terms of family and having people around, it wasn't that much different. But I guess it would have been a bit harder for my mum because all her family was back in Fiji. But, you know, she probably found it a bit hard because she's used to staying really close to her siblings. But as for my dad, he's got thousands of extended family. I say thousands.
Really?
Yeah, like all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, I can go, like I was living in New Zealand for a bit and he's like, oh, go see your uncle that's in Auckland. Or I went to Hawaii and he's like, oh, your uncle lives in Hawaii, go say hello. I think I was in Dubai as well. He was like, oh, go see your uncle in Dubai. I was like, yeah, so there's just family everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But for your mum, it was very close knit. She's close.
Yeah, she's like, it's her and her sisters, pretty much.
How many?
I might get this wrong, there's 6 sisters and 1 brother.
Wow.
So there's 7 of them altogether.
7.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, bro? How like our parents, like even my dad told me this, bro, like they 12.
Yeah.
Like, you know, 12 mum, 7
Yeah.
7 of them. Bro, what's with bro?
Could you imagine like having 7 kids today?
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
How expensive that would be?
I know.
Bro, that grocery bill is $1,000 a week, easy.
Easy, bro. He's talking about like 7, like wow. So have you ever talked to your mom about like that, like kind of how was that experience like? Because you know sometimes you could be running as a child, you guys, but you know maybe your mom's going through stuff like mentally, like not having a family. Do you ever have those conversations?
Nah, I've never really asked her, to be honest. She hasn't, we just knew it was always, not always, but it was going to be hard for her, but she didn't really show it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I think she just like, yeah, it's just a sacrifice I want for my kids to be here. And yeah, thankfully it's, you know, hopefully it'll all pay off soon rather than later.
It is.
Yeah.
And the reason I even asked that, because like I had a conversation with mum. We did it, I think, on my channel on a mukbang, but she told me, she was like, I was depressed when I moved to Australia.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I had everything over there and I came here and we're struggling, I'm pregnant with Emmanuel. So when she told me that, I'm like, damn, like, I see you as mum this whole time. I see you as my mother, but I never saw you as Rose. Like,
as a human being?
As a human being, you know what I mean? So that's why I asked you, like, I think that's important for us to have. So, okay, so you're 9 years old, you learn English. Let me ask you also, what's it like being the older brother? Like, yeah, tell me what that's like.
I mean, to be honest, I think, especially in the islands, the older brother, like the elder sibling, tends to carry a lot of things. Like, for example, we have to be the example of the family. You know what? You have to almost hold a standard of, you know, what your family looks like from the outside. But I guess for myself, I've always been sort of different. I've never ever cared about what other people's opinions are about. You know, when they talk or when they see me, I don't want to be that, how do you say it? I don't want to be that guy that's just, he's a, you know, islander guy, so let's put him in a box because this is where he belongs, which is rugby. That's your identity. You know, I've always tried to challenge that and say, you know, as Pacific Islanders, we're not just rugby players. There's a lot more, you know, in here that we haven't touched yet because we don't entertain it. You just grow up, you're taught to pass a rugby ball, you're taught to run, you know, taught to be strong, fit. So one day you can go over to France, England, Australia, overseas, anywhere and play footy. So, yeah, I guess for a long time, I've always had this rugby identity behind me. But I guess just overcoming things as you get older, you tend to realise, nah, rugby's not it. It's just not me. and then you start to figure yourself out. And I'm fortunate enough to go through all that a lot quicker than I guess most people would. Because I do know, like, I know some people or some friends who struggle with that identity, especially when they leave the game. So it's hard.
Yeah. I want to touch back a little bit because that was powerful. But you said, like, as the older brother, there's that certain pressure, you know, to uphold a standard, and you had this mentality of you didn't care what people thought. Was you not caring about people thought within the culture, like of the culture of where you're from, in terms of, okay, Sam, you're supposed to be here to do this, or did you feel any expectations from family of who you were supposed to be?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't really expectation. I guess it's, and it's, I guess it's like, you know, you're supposed to be here, do this, do things that way. But I guess it comes down to my parents as well. They never really pushed it into my face. They've always encouraged me to be different, go out there and seek other things. You know, you don't have to always, especially my mum, you don't always have to pursue rugby. Rugby's, what, 10% of your life, or even less? 2%, I'd say. And then you got the rest of your life to live. She'd always say that when I was younger, but of course, being younger, you never listen. But yeah, no surprise, she was right.
Yeah, it's and like you said, we get confused even as athletes, like, this is who I am. But no, rugby is what you do.
Yeah,
it's just another part of you, you know what I mean? And I feel that so much because even what we're doing now is like, yeah, it's a part of my life, it's what I do, but I'm multifaceted. You know, we could be an entrepreneur, I'm into other things, like I have this powerful mind. And your mom is 100% right, like that's why a lot of people struggle with that identity, even when they retire or they go broke, because it's like you put even the measure of who you are as a human being on the field. So you have a bad game, you coming home and you in this state of like, damn, like, but no, you have a bad game, it's just part of life.
Life moves on. As soon as you cross that white line, there's another life to live outside of sport. Yeah.
And it's like, we use rugby, we use sport as a lesson to, like, it teaches you about life.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think it is, like, sport's important, especially when you're young. Like, it teaches you a lot of things that you eventually take into your life. But I think what's probably the hardest thing about all that is stepping away from the sport and trying to figure yourself out. I think that's probably the toughest challenge.
That's the hardest, huh? Yeah. Can you, man, there's so much to talk about, and that's why I love this, but, okay, because I'm into your history, but I want to touch on that topic of, like, what was even, like, walking away from the sport in terms of, like, all right, cool, my next thing, you know what I mean? Because, like, I get you even from, like, that's especially when your whole life is in this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've been devoting so much time into it.
Yeah, I think that question came a lot earlier than I expected. I think I left high school, and then at the age of 19, I got diagnosed with leukemia. So that question was like, oh, what's, you know, if I've got cancer now and I have to live through this, and when I live through this, what do I do next? You know, is rugby still on the plate? If not, you know, what are my options? You know, where's my future in the next? Wasn't even in the next 5 years. Where's my future in the next year? You know, what's it going to look like? And so at the age of 19, it just, you know, hit me very fast and very hard. So yeah.
How did that diagnosis come?
Oh, so I got the call up to train with the Waratahs under 20s. And I think Just
real quick, for people who don't know what Waratahs is.
Yeah. So Waratahs is like it's in football talk, it's like the Arsenal, the Premier League of rugby union. So you've got Waratahs, very similar to Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester, and then above that you have your international, so your England. Spain.
Yeah. That's a good. I like how you break that down because most people, yeah. Go on. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got asked to train with the Waratahs under 20s. I was still 18 at the time, so I was very young. A lot of the boys were 2 years older than me, so big boys. But yeah, it was a training session. I think I went in for a tackle and I dislocated my shoulder. So straight after training, I went over to the sports doctor at the club. I got an MRI scan straight away, and the doctor kind of was looking at the MRI and she was like, do you feel sick at all? And I said, no, I feel all right. Like I'm pretty fit and healthy. I thought I was Superman. And then she goes, I need to refer you to a hematologist. I looked at her, I was like, speak English. What's a hematologist? And she's like, oh, sorry, it's she's like, oh, it's a blood doctor. They specialize in blood. So I was thinking, okay, sweet, no worries. It's probably just, probably got a cut and got infected. So I think this all happened a couple of weeks before my birthday. So I went to the hematologist, got tested. They took bone marrow out of my back. And yeah, I think a week after my birthday, turned 19, and the doctor's like, sat me down and was like, you've been diagnosed with leukemia, chronic myeloid leukemia. So the good news was they found it early. They found it early enough for me to take chemo by pills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they found it very, very early.
I wouldn't say very early, but like at the stage where it was at the tipping point. Mm-hmm. So, if I had found out later, a month later, I would have been going through the chemo and all that kind of stuff.
Aren't you tired of sitting on the sideline? Aren't you tired of not getting your voice out there? Because like I've always said, you have a gift. You see, you have opinions, you have attitudes, you have a business, you have something that's so tangible. Now is the day that we can stand up. Now is the day that we can come and get our voice out to the world. That is what we're doing here on the Rabasha Family Podcast. You were able to be on a media network where your friends and family were like, wow, you were on the Rabasha Family Podcast? Imagine being able to grow your social presence by collaborating with a family of individuals who want to change the world, because that is what you're going to do. You're going to come and change the world. You're going to be on YouTube. You're going to be on all the audio platforms telling your story, telling your gift, telling the value that you have out to the world. And what's going to happen? Well, you're going to deliver a lot of value. You're going to deliver a lot of outcomes. You're going to be able to grow your presence online. Done are the days where you're going to be scrolling. You're going to be the creator. You're going to come on a platform like ours, tell your story, deliver value, and get the results. This is your chance to be on the Rabasha Family Podcast. Stop sitting and watching everyone else and be now behind the camera, where you can come and people can see the real you. People can get a lens into who you are, your thoughts, your opinions, your attitudes, and everyone will be like, damn, how are you on such a drippy show? How were you able to articulate yourself so well? And you're going to be like, well, I was on the Rabasha Family Podcast. Make sure to subscribe, link in the description for you to get the chance to be on the show. So let me ask you, when the doctor said that, what was running through your mind?
At first, I didn't really understand, to be honest. Because I went to this doctor's appointment by myself, and I didn't let my mum or my parents be there. And even still to this day, when I go see my doctor, I still go by myself. But I guess it was just trying to understand what it was. And then, trying to figure out what your options were. So like the doctor brought out this big bag of pamphlets and was like, this is your options if you want to get healthier. And it was just a pamphlet full of drugs. So like not only you get told the news, but then you get shoved all these drugs to pick and choose from, just so, you can try and get better. There's no really like sit down time to think about what just happened.
And then, so that's happening. What's running through your mind?
Is, can I still play rugby?
Yeah.
Can I still play rugby? Can I still play rugby was going through my mind, because literally in 2 weeks I was meant to fly over to Fiji to try and play for the under 20. which against the doctor's orders, I went anyways.
You went?
Yeah, tanked up on chemo pills. So yeah, I had surgery, I had to take more bone marrow out. So the day before 2 days before my flight, had a chemo surgery, and I started chemo by pills, and like I was dead. I was in bed for the 2 days. I got on that plane, flew to Fiji. I played the trials, made the team, and I got cut because in our medicals we had to write down if we had any sicknesses. I shouldn't have written cancer.
Yeah. Oh, so you wrote it down?
Yeah, I snitched myself out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had, I think Fiji Rugby had like a big committee board meeting about whether I should go or not, and they deemed it that I was a risk.
Yeah.
So they said, sorry, your campaign's done here.
Yeah. I just try not to think so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
so.
No, you're right. Wow. So how did you break it to your parents that you had cancer? Because you, like you said, you go there by yourself.
Yeah. So I just had notes. Chronic myeloid leukemia, what my blood count was, white blood cell count, red blood cell count. A lot of it was Google as well. Because the terms and the words the doctor was using, it was there.
Speak English.
Yeah. So anyways, a lot of it was just in through one ear, out the other. But I think my focus then was just to get better.
Yeah.
In a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was that? How was the recovery?
Oh, it was hard, man. It was pretty tough. Most of the time I was just at home. Just pills, just on the pills, in bed. Sometimes it felt lonely, but it wasn't really lonely. Like my parents were there, my whole family was there, so it's pretty chill. Oh, yeah, it's pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, man. That's interesting, and obviously to see you so strong and just keep going through life is amazing. So let's pivot back to growing up and going to school and stuff like that. We met in church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Like when you look back on it, and then also for you, maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me, your dad's a pastor. So pastor in the church. And let me ask you too, is that also a little bit of pressure on you because you're the pastor's child, the pastor's children, and then I love how you said you didn't really, because a lot of people in our life, we get dictated by other people's opinions, by other people's thoughts, and it's a tough battle that we go through. Even sometimes I might still go through. So I know it's a loaded question, but yeah, talk to us a little bit about that. Wait 1 second, just make sure you're in. Oh. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Bro, I think it's going to the local church. A lot of it was probably put down to Mr. Brown. Like he made sure there was a safe environment for us kids to always come to on Fridays, play football, play basketball, play ping pong. But a lot of probably I say my life has turned out the way it is today because of that. A lot of it was environment driven. Like as kids, we just rock up, go to church camps, and we'd have a ball of fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, it's some of the best memories growing up here in Sydney because you don't get to do a lot of that.
Community.
Yeah, community stuff. I go in the summer, we'd be gone for 4 to 5 weeks just camping at the beach, and I think that's where the faith is really strong. It doesn't matter where we end up in life, we'll never forget our faith. And I think that's what Mr. Brown instills in us is even to this day, he's always sending me text messages, Bible verses, always still inviting me over for dinner. So yeah, I think faith is a big one. Yeah,
having that faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful, like you said, still, and even like now as I've gotten older, I've really started to realize the power of the Bible.
Yeah.
And like it's you know, again, people get mixed up in this religion and they see it as a book of religion, but no, like the Bible is it's a guidebook on how to live your life, bro. Like when I look back and I'm even me going through challenges, you know, in entrepreneurship, you know, I lost my job, you know what I mean, a month ago or so, and like it's like that parachute's gone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I got to pay rent, I got a girlfriend, like I'm doing things, I have plans, so it's like damn, you know what I mean? And then if you're not aware, you get lost in this state of you forget the power that you have. Like God says, you were made in the image of God. Yeah. So God is always with you. So there's no circumstance that's bigger than you. There's no circumstance that's ever bigger than you. And what you're going through is just a learning lesson. So yeah, I just think, like you said, that foundation of that strength of what's in the Bible and how we use it to live our lives.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it, especially when you're feeling lost, is we tend to forget that all we need to do is just sit down, have a bit of quiet time and just pray. Prayer, just pray. Yeah, I think prayer is an important thing as well, especially in entrepreneurship. Like there's a lot of days where you're feeling lost, you're not sure what direction your vision is going, whether it's going forward or whether it's going backwards. Sometimes you just wake up, you're like, is this all worth it? But yeah, a lot of times I just fall back on, again, my faith and just pray. And yeah, I usually come out of it like, nothing can stop me now.
Yeah, nothing. And even like me, like, and I don't know, I had never read this verse in the Bible, and don't paraphrase me, but it's in Mark and it says, pray, when you pray as if you've already received it.
Yeah. And
that was huge for me because I was like, it's so true. How many times do we go to prayer like asking, oh, can you help me? Asking God. And of course we can continue to ask for the guidance, to continue to follow our path. But when you pray as if you've received it. So when I go into prayer, I just thank God.
Thankfulness.
Thank God. Gratitude. Thank you for the waking up. Thank you for this abundance. Thank you 100%. For this wealth. Thank you that I can provide for my family. Even if my reality, I'm sleeping on the floor, when I pray, it's in thanks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And you feel it in your body. You feel that. So when you walk out into the world, you walk out in gratitude because my prayers are answered.
Yeah, exactly.
And you produce that.
Yeah. And I think I learned that very early. Like my parents always say, be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for the things that you've been provided for. Because, it's God's timing is second to none. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but when it comes, you're just like, it's here. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things in life.
Yeah. And even like you, look at your story, You get leukemia, you get cancer, but God is there with you, and it's just like, that might seem like crazy, but again, when God is for you, who can be against you? No cancer, what cancer, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You have, that's powerful, bro. And I'm glad that we're able to talk about this and share this information to the world. Like, no, bro, the Bible is a guidebook on how to live your life. And in entrepreneurship, if you reference the Bible, so many things that you can reference to continue to be on that path and to serve, because that's what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
It's like I read this thing in a book, right? And it said, you must give man more in value than he gives you in cash. So you pay me for a service. When you pay me, for whatever it is, a product, anything, when you pay me, I have to give you more in value than you paid me. And so that's what I try to do in what I'm doing is like, okay, this service, how can I provide value to them? So much more value than the money that they provide. You know what I mean? And again, like the Bible is a powerful book. So let's talk about, we went to Scots College, private school. Talk a little bit about that, because we coming from this side of the fence. I remember when we first started, we brought the hood to that school, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We just like if I bring it back now, like when we went to Scots College, going to private school, we just brought that swag, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like me, you, we just came in with we also, I feel, if I think about it now, we came in with the attitude of like, not caring about what other people thought subconsciously. You know, we were just ourselves, especially you. One thing I always loved about you is you were always yourself. Of course, sometimes maybe you could adapt certain things or, you know, you learn new things, but you were always yourself. And I found when you were always yourself, even us, people gravitated towards us. Talk about it.
Bro, like, to be honest, that school is different. Like, especially coming from this side of Sydney and then going to that side of Sydney, that opened my eyes. I mean, I still remember to this day, the first day I walked through those gates and just seeing like the school kids with like short shorts, high socks and, you know, a green tucked in shirt. I was like, man, it's pretty feminine, eh?
The kilts.
The kilts. They had kilts. I was like, why are these kids wearing dresses?
Yeah, trust.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, I think that school, to be honest with you, opened my eyes in a different way. So I think like going to public school here, it really taught me the street smart, like you know, how to hold yourself, respect others. You know, respect is always earned, not given, all that kind of stuff. But over there, that taught me how to use my brain a bit more, rather than just the broad and the muscle, so, if that makes sense. So, because a lot of kids there, they're smart, they're really smart. And I think at that school, I was probably always in the lowest classes. Especially with English, maths, all those general. But yeah, looking back now, we were pretty fortunate. Not many kids from where we're from went to that school, and especially immigrants as well. I think we had some tough times with a few teachers. But again, I look back at it, it was them trying to instill the standard of the school, which was fair enough. You know, that taught me, you know, to have a standard for myself in the way I, you know, present myself, the way I talk to people, the way, you know, it kind of instilled in me the confidence that I probably otherwise wouldn't have if I stayed around here.
Cool.
Every moment can present an opportunity to impress. Having high-end fragrances with you at all times can give you the opportunity to make a statement at any time. Embrace Itara. She's gonna love this. As a man, whether it's a spontaneous night out or an unexpected adventure, never compromise on freshness and style.
Don't go. Please, can I have your number?
Grab hold of the essence of Itara, your secret companion for those unplanned moments.
You smell so good. Oof.
With a scent that lingers all day long, be prepared for endless compliments.
My God, you smell nice.
Wherever your journey takes you, small in size, but mighty in fragrance, your signature scent ready to elevate your presence. Don't miss out on the Discovery Set, a collection of all our exquisite fragrances. Experience them all before committing to the full-size bottle. Visit the Itara website now and discover the world of Itara signature scent anywhere you go.
Yeah. You touched on a few good points there. And it's crazy because I was in the city the other day and I saw, like, you know, a Scots kid, and it made me think back when I was in school and his shirt was untucked and everything. And so it made me think back, and I'm like, yes, what they taught us in that school was very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Even just with the presentation, the tie, the shirt, tucking your shirt in. Like, now I go to the city quite a lot, you know, because to present what we're doing, this podcasting thing. And the one thing that sticks out, people come up to me, is my presentation, and something that my dad's always instilling in me. So it made me think back, yes, that's why they were so strict on the way you had your shirt, your blazer, looking sharp, because your presentation, your first impression means everything to the world. Because people say don't judge a book by its cover, but no, people judge the book by its cover. When they see you, the non-verbal communication is the way you dress, and that's what that private school taught us. That's what it was. It was how to, you know, dress and present yourself to the world. So I think the best part of all of it is the networking side of things as well. Yes.
I think networking is probably one of the best things I've taken out of sort of going to a private school. Yeah, I don't know, just for some reason, especially like talking to other people, like networking is for them not as natural.
Or when you say other people, what do you mean?
Oh, like other friends and who are, trying to network. They come and ask me, oh, how do you network? Like, you seem like you have all this confidence. Where does it come from? But to me, because we were taught how to do it, it just came naturally to us. So like trying to teach someone how to network is, for me, pretty hard. Like I just say, just be confident, go out there and introduce yourself, talk about what you're doing, because people always want to know what you're doing, but just as important, they want to tell you what they're doing. So, if you have a listening ear, and questions about what they're doing, people will always be happy to share what they're doing and how they can help you. Because listening is a value as well.
Bars, bro. Bars, man. These guys, bro, you dropping gems. And I love how you said everywhere you go, yes, tell people what you do. There's power in that. Tell people what you do, because people will always remember that. But then again, there's value in listening. How can they provide value to you? And by you listening, you can now hear how you can provide value.
Exactly, yeah. And the world is always, without you knowing, the world is always in transactional changing. You're always to and from. If you give me something, I'm giving you something. And it doesn't have to be always in money or in currency. It can just be in information, because information is power. Especially in today's environment, data, information, it's gold.
Mm-hmm. And then again, you get the information and then the application of that information in your field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like going back to the whole private school talk, I love that because, okay, apart from the presentation and the way you look, school is pretty much more or less the same, right? Whether you go to private school, public school, the education, all right, cool. It's pretty much the same. But like you said, the networking, when you're at a private school now, how many times are those kids now, the jobs that they often go get is because their dad works here. They know this, so they go into those positions. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that is actually the real power of private school. And even for us, we're going to send our children to private school, not so much because of, you're going to go in, your friend's dad is the CEO of this, you're going to be in the room, you as my son, as my children, your dad's a CEO, you know what I mean? Where you're going to be in positions to employ and this, so you're going to go to that school to grab the network from there and continue to build.
Exactly. And I think, especially when you put it in your resume, it's funny, you put in your resume, a lot of bosses will go, what year did you finish? Oh yeah, did you know this and so forth? So that interview doesn't even become a job interview anymore. It's more of a, who do you know? Oh yeah, no worries. When do you want to start? It's crazy.
Crazy. That's so funny. And I saw something, I don't know, I think it was on TikTok. To be honest, like I've also, and we can go into this, there's so much for us to talk about, but I don't really swipe much on TikTok. I'm more like creating. Every time I go there, I'm creating. But like, TikTok tried to finesse me to try to show me something to capture my attention, so I'm swiping. But I saw something and it was in Australia, out of the top 100 CEOs, it was like 75% or 80% of CEOs for these big companies went to private schools.
Yeah. I've got the video saved on my phone, actually.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Show you one sec. It's crazy.
Show them, yeah.
Shout out to my missus. She actually sent me this.
CEOs of the top 100 companies in Australia all attended private schools. When you look at the difference between public and private schools, there's a huge difference, despite what people say. Where I think private school students get the biggest advantage is it's who you know. It's the network that you're exposed to. Obviously, the level of education plays a huge part, but it's the network that is the most important. When I compare my friends that went to private schools, they all went off into really high-paying jobs or got these amazing opportunities early on through their network from the private school, whether it was from the sporting team, whether it was from a friend of a friend that they went to school with, someone's uncle, someone's dad. They all got really great opportunities through the network in the school. The third thing, which I believe is probably the most important thing, it should be number one, is the level of confidence and the high level of self-worth that is instilled in private school students by their teachers. I didn't get that at public school.
Yeah, 100%. And like, even to touch on teachers, that could be because not all teachers could give you. I remember one teacher told me, it's like, I don't even want to say his name, but he was like, "Oh, you work at McDonald's or something like that." Yeah, bro, he told me that. But so that's more or less, some teachers could do that even in public school. But I think the big thing he said was the network, and I'm even go further. It doesn't even matter about the education, bro.
Nah.
Like, it doesn't even matter about the education. Doesn't matter, you know, you go, it's that networking, you know what I mean? And of course, if you're able to communicate, which is a powerful tool, and bro, this is what podcasting has taught me. Maybe I'm bad at talent in this, but communication, bro.
Yeah.
If you can go in a room and capture people's attention by the way you communicate, by helping people understand your vision, and connecting vision, storytelling, the emotions, bro, the world's at your feet.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a powerful thing, because I think a lot of people out there, they're finding more interest in, you know, finding out what your story is and how they relate to it. Especially a lot of great content creators out there in social medias, especially, they're very popular because a lot of people relate to them. So if you're everyday Joe and you can somehow tell your story, the world is at your feet. At your feet.
And just like you're doing here, like you know, to come. For me, podcasting is easy, and doing this is easy, but it's not to everyone else. You know what I mean? But like, still, even for you to have the attitude, like, come. I spoke to you before. Now I'm an open book, bro. We can talk about anything. There's power in that too, because not many people can do that. Not many people can come out and be able to be vulnerable here like you're doing. Talk. I know you're watching this video, but real quick, please guys, please make sure you take the time to like, share, and subscribe. Go and hit the subscribe button so we can keep giving you guys content, so you guys can be notified as soon as we drop some news and information that's really gonna help you. And then another thing, guys, and by the way, subscribing, it doesn't cost any money, nothing, no dollars, just go in there, hit the subscribe button. Again, Spotify, make sure you download our episodes on Spotify. We are exclusive to Spotify because we are getting that deal.
It depends. There's two sides of social media. As you probably know, there's the consumption side of it and also the creation side of social media. I'd say if you're on the consumer side of social media, you're probably on the wrong side of it.
Talk about it.
And it's only because it consumes your time, and time for me is an asset you'll never get back. So a lot of people that we catch a train, or you catching the bus, or you're just sitting at home, a lot of us are just doing the swiping. We're just swiping, seeing what the next best reel is, seeing which reel or video we can laugh at next. So yeah, if you're on the consumption side, try and get out of it, but it's hard. It's hard not to, especially if there's great content getting pushed through.
Yeah.
But if you're on the creation side of it, you're on the right side, simply because you're able to monetize what you're putting out there. So you're putting more out there than you are consuming through the apps. So yeah, if you're able to monetize anything that you post, I think is a really good thing.
Yeah. And it's like, you just broke it down so well, the consumption and being a creator. And now when you're a creator, you're not a victim of what gets put in front of you, or of how you see the world. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are dictated, and the thoughts that come in their mind are from what's getting put out of them. But I can, instead of me saying people complaining, and even this whole talk about, like, I used to be, racism. I remember one time we even maybe had an argument.
Yeah, we had a massive argument.
You were right. Sam was right that whole time. I was blinded by what was purporting in the news. Oh, there's racism. Bro, there is no such thing as racism. I'll go out and say that there is no such thing as racism. Of course, there's things that happen, but you know what? As a creator, I will go out and purport what I want to see in the world. I will go out and be the creator. And for example, we had a talk here on the Bible and empowerment. You see what now I go put that out into the world. Now we can go help people out there to say, no, this is how you can live your life. This is how you can do it. And another thing you said, I was on the train and like you said, I saw people doing this. So I said, I was looking at that and then I said, a few tactics here. I said, how can I be the one, obviously, who's on the side of that creating, but also who they're not just swiping on? Like, how can I capture their attention? And that's the strategy that I do in every time. Of course, some people will skip your stuff, but like, how can I capture their attention? You know what I mean? So how can I be on the other side of that screen that they're looking on the content? And that's where the power lies, that you can put out information that's valuable, that's inspiring, but then again, monetize it. And tell your narrative.
Exactly. And big social media platforms have just made it easier. It's like, you know, if you put anything out there, you're bound to make money.
Yeah.
You're bound to, you know, make something out of yourself. But I guess the hardest part, and this is where people struggle between being on the consumption side and the creator side, is people are scared to jump out of that consumption side and be the creator.
Why?
I think it's just it's people, you know, worried about what other people think about them, especially their close-knit friends, or you know, the outside noise, I called it, you know, the outside noise that tend to get to a lot of people, especially in today's world. I think a lot of us mentally are weaker than you know, let's say generation before us mentally. And I think that's due to, that's probably because a lot of us as kids weren't disciplined. That's all it comes down to it. But yeah, apart from that, I think a lot of us are, especially our generation and the Gen Z and the generations coming, I think we're going to have a huge issue with mental toughness.
Yeah, 100%. It's true. It's you know, and in a day and age of where again, like everything is being dictated by the outside world. You go on and you see other people doing well, and then you know that makes you feel that maybe you're not doing so well in life. And yeah, like you said, there's that challenge. But like for me, when you tap into, like, to be honest, bro, I don't get distracted by social media, honestly. Like I just go on the platform. Maybe the time I do spend on there is just the posting part sometimes, you know. So it's like, or I just kind of maybe rewatch what I've just posted, you know, as feedback. So yeah, it's true. If people can, of course, you guys can be on the Rabasha Family podcast on people like yourself. So now when you're putting out content, people see encouragement.
Yeah.
But how is your posting game? Like, what's your? Because like you said, especially if you have a business, if you have, and I see this so many times, Sam, I see this so many times, business owners, companies, even the big companies aren't doing it the best. But if you learn how to use social media, if you learn how to use YouTube, the platform, long form, for your business, you don't even, to be honest, need to spend money so much on advertising. You are the content. Exactly, you are the advertisement. Podcasting, you are the content. And you telling your story is a natural funnel, because people are going to trust you by you consistently putting out value, putting out information, you know, within your media company or on someone else's podcast. So talk about your strategy, how you see it. Do you want to get into posting? You know, tell me.
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest market strategies is to sell not the product, but the story, the environment, the feeling of the product. Like if you have a look at some of the biggest companies out there, like Coca-Cola, Adidas, Nike, you know, you never see on their Instagram or TikToks them putting a shoe in your face and say, buy this Nike Kobe, you know, 26s or whatever they are. They sell the feeling of putting Kobe's on and shooting that last second shot and winning the game. You know, it's that feeling that they sell. So when you consume the video, you're like, oh, I want that feeling. It's the fear of missing out on that feeling. So I think for myself as well, I want to sell to everyone the story of how our startup started and the journey that we're going through to get to, you know, where it's going to be.
On this path of life that I'm on right now, I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking about my financial future. How can I make important moves now that are going to impact me when I'm older? This video is sponsored by Rise. Every time you get an income, you can set weekly, monthly, daily investment goals. You can put aside money while you're growing and seeking the best future for yourself. For me, what I do is every week I have an amount and it puts the money into the stock market. It's all about compounded interest. The actions and the things that you do today are impacting your future. So for me to continually having that compounding interest of money being put away into the stock market, by the time I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, that amount is generational wealth. That is the power of compounded interest. It's always important to think about your future, always important to think about tomorrow and 20 to 30, 40 years from now. What Rise has done with the Rabasha Family Podcast, they're going to give you $5 once you sign up with the Rise app and you're approved. You can start your financial journey today. None of this is financial advice. Hit the link in the description, get $5 into your account once you're approved, and get started on your investment journey today.
And, you know, if people, because people will always care about, unconsciously will always care about what someone's product, how someone is doing, or how someone's product is doing. So they'll naturally just watch 0.3 seconds of it, and if it grabs their attention, it's all game from there.
You got them.
Yeah.
And it's like it's creating content strategically as well, where you're doing it where the person who's watching the video, they're so captured within the value or the story, or even if it's just the entertainment of your content, that they don't even know it's a so-called an advertisement. They don't even know it. They're so hooked in to whatever it is that you have to offer, because you do have something to offer, you know, and that's why this podcasting is so powerful, because it's like, you know, that story, what he's talking about, he's making me laugh, and you just build the trust, you build the authenticity. Like you said, Nike, Adidas, these companies, what they've done well is they put in the outcome, the feeling. People might not remember your name, they might not even remember your product, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. And if your service, your product can make someone feel amazing, if you can come on a platform like this, if you can create your own content and make someone feel amazing and give someone value, give someone information, they don't subconsciously even know what you're doing, but there's power in that.
Yeah, and it's gone all the days where you remember those ads that you see on the morning shows, the Sunrise, where they go from the news to like the side thing, and they go, oh, buy this vacuum for $49.99 and get a free vacuum handler with it. You know, that's, you know, people don't care about price anymore. They care more about the story and the journey. And the more you can capture them on those two things, people won't even have a look at the price or however much it costs.
Bro, hey guys, you guys want to hire Samuel Tabuatrabata as your marketing director? You know, the link will be, or his contact details will be in the description. You know what I'm saying? Facts, bro. You spitting facts, and why also you're so important on what you're saying is now helping startups. You know, helping people like yourself who are creating things, who have services. And a lot of people, they create these amazing startups, have amazing ideas, but they don't know how to communicate those ideas. They don't know how to be able to make that other person see that vision. You're going and talking about, well, this has a systematic approach of da-da-da. And you go, no one cares. Speak English. No one cares about that. You know, it's funny enough, like I did it was a Sydney startup hub, and I did a pitch deck that was teaching how to land your idea, communicate your idea. And after my speech, you know what he said to the audience? He said, you see how Eve talked about his product in the last 30 seconds? I was about to finish from a podcast. He was like, you see how he talked about his product in the last 30 seconds? The majority of his speech was the emotions, the story, the first, you know, and he talked about it now at the end, but I was so already hooked in. And so it's like a lot of companies and businesses, again, even the big brands, some of them still struggle with the social media game. Yeah.
And I think, because I read somewhere, and this is where I'm going with my marketing strategies, because I do a lot of reading, and someone, I can't remember, but he said more people nowadays are more interested in someone's product when the CEO or the founder of that company is out talking about their journey, how the company is going, is able to sit down in front of a camera and sort of share their journey so far. So I was like, you know what, I might just take this, because this is probably the new way of marketing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or today even.
Personal branding.
Personal branding.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be the founder of that company or that product. If you're the CEO, I think it's essential for you to be in front of the camera. You are the face and the front of the company, and people want to know. People buy into the person, not the product, the vision.
Yeah. Yeah, powerful. And that's why I even saw, like, I read in the news somewhere that I think Jeff Bezos of Amazon, he bought a newspaper, or I forgot, a media company basically.
Yeah.
Why? Because I need to control the media. I need to get it in front. Elon Musk has done that so well, because people, they want to connect to that.
Yeah.
And it's even just, getting at your phone, like simple thing, and like, hey guys, today has been a tough day for me, or, just talking, and it's just like, and even for you, why I value you coming here and sitting down and telling your story is because even when we spoke, you invested in yourself. You invested in yourself, okay, through me, through this podcast, because you said, no, I want to put in the investment into myself because I love myself. I know who I am. I'm going to come in here and have this conversation, get this story out. And from how we're going to put this it's going to be amazing, bro, because, bro, you have value. Like, look at everything you just said. Like, it's crazy because I'm so glad that we could have talked about this off camera. We could have.
Yeah.
But we're doing this on camera. We're marketing ourselves, because if you don't market yourself, no one's going to do that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, look, before we wrap it up, and what's so great about this conversation is there's so many more levels that we could have touched on that we haven't even scratched the surface on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why I think so many people are going to be inspired from this conversation. Even later today, I'm obsessed with this. I might even go and, it takes time, but edit something from this, to put out there, because it's inspiring, bro. Like, even helping startups, helping people, the private school conversation, just the value from this episode and your story, bro, is so powerful. I didn't even know where to start. I got so many things. So talk a little bit about what you're doing now, and a bit of your work.
Yeah. So my background is in construction. So I'm a carpenter. So I've always been in the construction industry. I'd probably say ever since I left school. I think my passion grew from just being in the industry for a long time. I think I've been in the industry for about 8 years, so it's gone by quick. A lot of us in the industry would probably know there's a lot of problems to solve around, the systems, the processes of how the construction industry works. But I'd say in construction we're probably 5 or 10 years behind in terms of technology and systems and processes behind other industries. At the moment I'm working on something called a universal trade card. So essentially it just kind of works like your like a credit card, but we've partnered up with a lot of hardware stores and suppliers into the one card. So instead of just having one Bunnings card and just being able to go to Bunnings and just use it at Bunnings, for example, we're able to put in a lot of smaller time hardware stores and suppliers where you can just transact through one card, and the suppliers get paid straight away. Suppliers don't have to worry about the credit terms and when they're going to get paid. So we kind of we're working on that very hard at the moment, only because I think the supply chain of the construction industry, as a lot of people would know, if you're in the industry, it's probably one of the most hardest areas to sort of get around. The supply and logistics side of things. So
it's a challenge.
Yeah. Because originally we were in the logistics side of the supply and demand, the supply chain, but we just didn't see any future in it. only because, you know, the cost of everything was going up, you know, cost of fuel, the overheads, the maintenance of cars, all that kind of stuff was sort of just getting out of hand a bit earlier this year. So, you know, I sat down and just thought about, you know, what would be next. What could sort of take away all these overheads in our startup and make it a bit more startup friendly, I say. So yeah, we had to pivot. At the moment, doing a lot more research into, you know, trade credit, how the credit terms work between a supplier and a business. You know, what happens if they are missing a payment? You know, what does a business want? Would they rather just keep using a Bunnings card, or, you know? So you're trying to build a persona around your product and see if it's fit for the market.
Is there opportunity for it in the market? Does the market need it? But what I love what you're doing, because, and you said I sat down, I thought about it, I visualized it. You know, in the Bible it says, in Proverbs, where there is no vision, people perish. What does that mean for our lives? When you have to use that imagination, you have to have that vision, and what it is like, and this is life, man. This is the essence of life and what you're doing, and that's why entrepreneurship is powerful. But how can I obsess over other people's problems? How can I obsess over other people's problems? How can I solve them? Not what's in it for me or the money I can get from you. How can I solve other people's problems? You know what I mean? And that's what's powerful. That's what you're doing, you know? So this is a system and a process. And so it's through an app, right?
So it'll just be like using a credit card. So it'll just be a card. It's not an app per se. But it's more of a software company where you give us your details as a business, and then it'll be like applying for a credit card. It'd be like applying for a credit card.
So to break it down in a way more simpler terms, I own a construction company. So I see your services like, yeah, I need that. That's going to make life easier. I'll go online, apply for this.
Apply for the card. So it'll be like applying for a loan. So we get your details, and then we go, okay, this is your, say, credit limit that you could use at, you know, this 10 stores that we partner with.
And then they can use it to now
transact, buy materials. And so what actually happens today is the supplier takes on that credit. So a lot of, when you're a business, you go to a supplier or a hardware store, you apply with them.
So like a supplier, when you say like, I need the material and stuff like that to do a job,
to build a house,
to build a house. So you said, so what's an example of a supplier?
So let's just, for example, say Bunnings. Bunnings, yeah.
Okay, so you said, what happens now?
So like, say you're a business, you go to Bunnings, you want to have an account with them. So you don't pay them money straight up. So you put up your details, they check out your credit, your business credit history, and they go, oh, okay, sweet, no worries. Eve Rabasha and Co. can spend up to 30 grand at Bunnings, for example. So you go, you buy, say, 10 grand worth of materials, you have 30 to 60 days to pay that back. So what actually tends to happen is the suppliers and the hardware stores end up always chasing the businesses. So we take that problem away from the suppliers and say, you get paid straight away. It's like buy now, pay later. You get paid straight away, and we chase the customers.
So they apply. So it helps the suppliers quite a lot. So who's your target audience?
My target audience is it's more the supplier side of things. Because it tends to. Because you're a business, right? So as a supplier, you're a business. You want to just focus on supply material, not worrying about credit, who owes you money, all that kind of stuff. So on that side of things, we just take that problem away from them and go, we'll chase the money for you.
So the suppliers come to you.
We for now we go to the supplier.
Of course, because you're getting the ground, even like But but eventually, also you guys go to the supplier and say, okay, listen, this is our software. You guys don't have to worry about, you know, and I love how you say that, because it's like they envision you're taking away their problem. They envision, oh man, what's it like to have that problem solved?
Yeah.
So you go to the supplier and say, listen, where it's like a credit loan type of system. You guys.
So listen here, someone who travels, someone who's always on the go, I'm always looking as a man to smell good, you know, because the way you present yourself to the world means everything. And that comes with my essence. It comes with the scent that I carry around. Now, Itara is an amazing fragrance oil that you can carry with you everywhere. As an entrepreneur, as someone, as a creator who's traveling, who's always on the go, it's so convenient to be able to put this in my bag. I like to travel, I love to go overseas, and I don't have time for big perfumes. I don't have time for trouble at the airport. Well, I carry this around with me. This is so nice. It smells amazing. All the ladies love it. And what I love about it is it's environmentally friendly. So when I walk around, I carry a long-lasting scent. So when I walk in the building, they know it's me. And that's the power of having such a fragrance oil that you can have at your disposal. So guys, for you, just for you, you guys can have access to the discovery set. Have samples that you can use so you can really try and see what scent works for you. Head over to the Itara website and you can get your fragrance oil today and get looking good, smelling nice. When you walk in the building, you want them to know it's you. So what are you waiting for?
Let's say the company comes to the supplier to, like, let's say do the loan. They're gonna have your system integrated in their system. So like, let's say the supplier does the loan thing, but now let's say the bindings or whatever, the supplier has your system integrated, and then they get paid straight away. But this, you guys handle.
We handle so we take the customer's information, and the customers won't know. Like they'll just think they're interacting with the supplier, and then so we just say, hey, look, you owe X amount of money in 60 days. If you don't have it in 60 days, there'll be a late fee incurred. So that's just the process of it. But we're mainly focused on the small to medium suppliers.
Yeah.
Because, if you talk about your Mitre 10s, your Bunnings, they've got drones of people to look after that kind of stuff. So it'll be more the smaller players where, they have, 2 people chasing 30 businesses, for example. So yes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the customer as well, the business, I'm not sure if this is probably the best way I could explain it. But for businesses, when you apply for a credit account or a trade card, you can only use it at that supplier. You can't use it anywhere else. So, with our card, we'll partner up with the 10 suppliers. So you can use it at, that supplier, that supplier, that supplier. But if you owe money to one supplier, you can't then go to another supplier and use up your credit there.
So you guys have all that system in place where it's like so it applies to, it goes to both, because that's easier now for the companies if they want to use different suppliers. But at the same time, when now they apply for you guys will do the check-in how much do you own with one supplier? Maybe he's fresh and they're fresh, then they can apply for now other suppliers. So you make it easier now for the business as well who are trying to get the loans and the equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're good with one company, like with one supplier, and your credit terms are good, so that means we'll get the information, be like, okay, this guy's good to use the credit limit at any of the 10 suppliers. But if he reaches the limit and hasn't paid back, you can't then use other suppliers that we partner with.
Yeah. So as of right now, like you said, a business, they can only have with one supplier at the moment.
Just the one.
That's how it works.
Just the one, So if you're Mitre 10, if you're using an account with Mitre 10, you can only use Mitre 10. If you're account with Bunnings, you can only use Bunnings.
It's kind of like how if with Afterpay you can use ZipPay, you can use and then in ZipPay and Afterpay there's thousands of places, but you can use Clara, I think, even now. So you guys have that. Okay, that's
So it's more of a business to business kind of model, but we're just trying to, I guess, take the headache away from the suppliers, from always chasing money, trying to get money off people. of businesses, sorry. Because businesses tend to use up one credit at one store and then they go to another store, use that credit.
Really?
Yeah. So like, sometimes they don't even get paid.
The stores.
The stores, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happens if you don't pay it? Like, isn't
So then that means like if they have, you know, tools and equipment, you can then take that. So it's like, you know, if you're not paying off the mortgage of your house, the bank then comes to take the house. So,
but still, like, that business is still low-key coming at a loss because you still got to come back and take the...
Yeah.
So, but you guys guarantee that the business gets paid, but then now you guys chase...
We take on the credit.
You guys take on the credit.
Yeah.
And then you have systems in place to make sure that you guys get your money.
Yeah.
And so that's where, and I see that's where the profit comes in. So, yeah, business to business. And I think when we talk about social media... LinkedIn that's where it's a huge platform, I think, especially for when it comes to business to business.
Yeah, LinkedIn's huge.
And it's getting better now. It's not as what it was before.
Yeah, especially like in Australia, construction's probably one of the biggest industries in the country. It's one of the biggest, yet it has the most problems in I think in all of the aspects of the industry. So I guess it's just trying to pick one and trying to be the best at it. And then once you've really figured that problem out, then you can start to jump to other systems and processes in the industry and start to slowly figure it out. I mean, there's all sorts of platforms out there at the moment, but I think they're being made from people who aren't in the industry. So they don't understand, the everyday people that are on the tools. So when there's people like myself that are always on the tools, a Chippy, or people that I work with, they open up this app. The first thing they say is, "Oh, what the bloody heck is this?" Because technology is not them. They're more comfortable in the tools. So when you're building something for the construction industry, you have to keep in mind the people that are using it. It's not the people in the office who are engineers, who are designers. It's the people that are on the tools literally every day, building the houses, building infrastructure, building, the apartments. And, the feedback at the moment is it's like the technology is too hard. It's too many buttons, too many clicks to get to where they need to.
Yeah, powerful, bro. And you know what? Like I literally just then, I had this vision, bro. Like I can see you building this up. I can see you doing well in this because, like you said, you understand the lingo. You get it. You get that person on the other end. You get that business owner who wants, to be able to have that efficiency to get different suppliers. You know what I mean? But what I also see you now doing is eventually, and like you're doing coming on this platform, now you having your own podcast with your company. And what you're doing now is you're bringing on people who work in construction. You're bringing on the everyday person that you interacted with. And you guys are trading stories and just talking about life and what it's like, you know what I mean? And that's just a great, again, marketing funnel for what, your app and your systems. And you're going to be the biggest in the industry, bro. They ain't never going to see someone like you because what you did was like, all right, cool. I know the everyday construction companies probably don't even know how to use this that well, and you're going to be that person to break through and really revolutionize the industry.
Yeah,
and that's just what I see.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's the thing. Like one of my things was to actually start this off. This was earlier this year. Started off and then sort of have a platform where other tradies can come in and just have a chat about their problems. There's so many problems on site just in construction in general. Like a problem problem with a plumber would be different to a problem with an electrician, different to a problem with a carpenter. There's so many different trades, so many different problems. I guess if you're able to compact it, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be the 100%. You don't have to solve it at 100%. You just got to sort of just help out in a way where it makes it easier for them. And then, they'll be like, they'll be more than happy.
Yeah, and even just like communicating about it as well.
Yeah.
Communicating about the issues.
Yeah, tradies suck at communicating about it.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I see you doing it, bro. I see you doing it, and bro, you're natural at this, bro. You're good at this, and as I said, I think we'll do. You know, as you continue to develop, you know, keep going. We do another one. We keep going, and bro, this was a dope. Do you mind if we get this on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of our best interviews because I think it's like that young generation talk, what we talked about on here, the power in what we're talking about, and then of course now being able to talk about what you're doing. Yeah, I think this will be the next video that comes out.
Yeah, sweet. Happy.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of the Rabasha Family Podcast. This was a great talk, bro. Like, you know, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, honestly, like, you come a long way in what you're doing, bro. It's powerful, bro. And like, there's power in your vision. There's power in what you have. You are made in the image of God, and I can see God living through you. I can see you being the vessel to help, you know, your friends, to help your family, to continue to let God's will be done in your life, bro. You know, you'll pivot from being an athlete and not just being boxed into one thing, you know, not just, oh, I am a rugby player, and the perceptions of what other people have of you know, you haven't been able to be the traditional, or maybe there's racism and maybe, like, of course, if people may not treat me the way I deserve to be treated, that's on them, but I know who I am, and when I'm made in God's image, God doesn't say I'm made in a black person, or no, I'm made in the image of God. I have the Holy Spirit, and there's power in that itself. So you've been able to cultivate that and live that, and I know you go through challenges like we all do, but to see you day after day continue to go, and I can't wait to see you on social media, you know, doing it. And if you need even any help with that, we talked about doing, you know, a vlog, but this is an introduction to who Sam is. You know what I mean? And yeah, we could glow up in the content. So
yeah, for sure. No, thanks for having me here, man. I guess it's always a pleasure to always catch up.
Yeah.
And just chat up, you know, what we've been up to and sort of the stories. I mean, we could have spoke all afternoon.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Like we didn't touch the service.
Nah, we haven't even touched the service. I think we rocked up and he was just like, I'm just gonna ask you questions. I was like, yeah, sweet, no worries. But yeah, I think life tends to take us in different directions, and the bond will always be there. But you know, it's just sometimes you got to go your separate ways. To then come back later and be like, hey, what's happening? It's just like you never left.
Yeah, and that's what we've done. Like, we've gone our separate ways, even times not communicated or whatever. But like, I think intellectually in the mind, like, we've always had that spirit. And like you said, it always comes back full circle. But the powerful thing is like, we're able to do this on camera. And like you said, open book. By the way, how are my questions? Like,
they're good.
Make you think, huh?
Yeah, they make you think, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, and even when I thought about it, I was like, when I was coming here, drop my parents off, I was like, how can I bring the best out of Sam's story? But I didn't think it'd even go like this. You know, sometimes you're just in the moment, and even this is kind of like playing sport, where it's like you're in the zone, you're in flow. Like this conversation, sometimes my mind did drift off a little bit, like but I brought it back in to listen. And you said power now, I wanted to listen to what you said, but it's like we're on the field, we're in presence, we're in flow, and when this comes out to the world, bro, you know?
Who knows?
Yeah, man.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.